Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I kind of want to do like a 2023 perfume wrap up where I kind of talk about the perfume releases throughout the year, which ones I love, which ones I didn't love. It's not going to be an in-depth review type of video. It's just going to be a summary of the year. Very excited to get into the fragrances that I enjoyed and the ones that left my collection that I did not get full bottles of, that I was not impressed with. So I'm very excited to get into that with you guys. So with that said, let's jump right into today's video. So last year I did like a perfume wrap up of the year where I kind of went over the new releases for the year, and I wanted to do the same thing this year, but as I was writing down the fragrances, I started to kind of separate it into categories of I hated it, I loved it, or it was okay. And then I decided that's kind of like how I'm going to go about this video. We're going to have three categories. We're going to have I absolutely loved it, I still have it, I am in love with it. Then we have the category of it was okay. They could be likes, or they could be ones that I really enjoy, but maybe the performance isn't all that great, or I'm still getting to know them, that type of vibe. And then we have the hell no category where I either got the travel size, did not enjoy it, I give you guys my review, or fragrances that I got that I decluttered because honestly, the ones that I don't like, they are not in my collection, not even the travel size. I was going to do it kind of like in sections, but I'm just going to pick a name and we're going to put it into those categories. So I think that would be really fun. Of course, I didn't try every single release of 2023 because I kind of try and get the things that I think might be good for me, or even if the notes don't sound good, I might have like a spark of hope for a fragrance. But if it flat out sounds like something that I won't like, I usually don't even get the travel size for it. So for the ones that I'm going to be talking about, I have talked about them on my channel throughout the year. A lot of them have dedicated reviews or they have been in perfume hauls. Some of these also, when I went on Fragrantica, they said like release in 2022, but I don't think I was able to get my hands on them until 2023. These are kind of like the newer releases of the year. So I'm going to start off with Clean Reserve Sparkling Sugar, which I have not talked about this one in so long, but this one was a super duper hit for me. This is in the loves category. I went through a travel size of this one because I loved it so much, and then Clean Reserve reached out to me and they were super duper kind and sent over a full size bottle. So this is one that's going to be in my rotation as soon as the weather starts warming up a little bit. When spring shows up, I'm definitely going to be wearing this fragrance. This one's so good. It reminds me a lot of Radiant Nectar from their line as well. It's just very juicy. So the notes for this one are peach, white musk, and blackcurrant. So I guess that combination of peach with the blackcurrant is perfection because I am not a blackcurrant girl. That is not the note for me. But in here, this is very refreshing. It's juicy, it's fruity, very flirty, very girly, super fun, and perfect for springtime. So this was a complete hit for me for the new releases of 2023, and I cannot wait to pull this one back out when it is spring and summertime. So that is Sparkling Sugar. Next up, we have another one that I started off with a travel size. I really tried to start off with travel size fragrances and then work my way up to the full size if I really liked it. And this one, I went through about half of the travel size. I still have the travel in my travel sizes because that way I can take it with me when I go somewhere. But this is YSL Black Opium Le Parfum. This one is in the loves category, complete love for me, and I feel like with time it gets better and better. This one is very heavy on the vanilla. The vanilla has definitely gotten darker, gotten denser, thicker, sweeter. It has gotten much sweeter from the first time that I got it. So I have learned a lot this year that fragrances just, they can change a lot depending on how long they've been sitting. This one, the longevity again was not the best when I first got it. And now it's much thicker. It's almost reminding me of my favorite flanker, which is the Nuit Blanche. It's very creamy, it's vanilla, it's sweet, and then that coffee and the white florals are very in the background. Very, very in the back. They are not the stars of the show in this fragrance. The star of the show for this fragrance is vanilla. There's a lot of different vanillas in here, and it started off not as sweet as it is now. Now I will say the vanilla is super sweet, it's thicker, and I am in love with this one. So this is one that I love for fall and winter, and I'm very, very happy that I have a full size of it. So this was a complete hit for me. So for the next one, I'm going to be putting a picture of the bottle on the screen because I don't have that one. I did get a travel size. My review was probably one of the worst reviews for fragrances because it was one that I just could not do. And I did get a few people kind of like, well, why did you even review it if it's a fragrance that you wouldn't normally go for? But there are fragrances where there's notes that I don't typically enjoy and they end up impressing me and I end up changing my mind about them. So I wanted to give it a try. So again, just because it doesn't work for me does not mean that it is a bad fragrance. There was people who really enjoyed this one. It just was not for me, and that is Replica on a Date. That fragrance, it was a complete no from the beginning to the end. To, I mean, the main accords on here say that it's fruity and rose at the top. To me, like, my nose just went past that. It was more towards the aromatic, the woody, the earthy, the patchouli. It was like dirty, dry. There is black currant in there. There's pink pepper, bergamot, rose, geranium, and savannah, which I struggle with. So it was a given that this was not going to be a fragrance I would enjoy. The base has patchouli, moss, vetiver, and musk. So if by now you have been watching my channel for a long time and you have similar taste to me, I know a lot of you guys leave comments telling me that you have similar taste to me and that usually when you try something I enjoy, you end up enjoying it. This is probably not one that you're not going to enjoy if you have the same taste as I do. And still, it's something that you can still try because everyone has different tastes. It was almost like I kind of explained that it made me think of like a dungeon, very dark with like roses that are like halfway dead and they're like crunchy, and it just was not, it was not giving like no type of date vibes for me. So Replica on a Date is a complete fail. So up next we have a Kayali release that I was so excited for. When I tell you I was so excited for this one, and unfortunately this one did not work for me. So this one is in the fail category, and I don't know why I keep doing this, but it was a fail for me. And it was one that I actually kept my travel size all the way up until I moved here, thinking that there was still some hope for us, that it was going to work out, that it was going to turn into like a fragrance where I hated it and then I ended up loving it. But that fragrance was just not for me. It was one that instantly, every time I sprayed it, almost every time I sprayed it, I got a headache from it. I got more of like that soap vibe that people were talking about. So that is Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato 33. So this one, I got the concept of it where it was like a gourmand that could be used kind of like in spring and summer because it wasn't super thick and cloying. That's great, that's beautiful, I didn't have a problem with that. But the thing for me was that the notes in here sounded so promising to me. I mean, you have hazelnut, pistachio, ice cream, there's rum. Those are kind of like the ones that stuck out to me the most. White peach, you have whipped cream and marshmallow and cotton candy and tonka bean and cacao. Like, there was so many notes in here that I was just like, there is no way that this is not going to work. This is going to be magical. And when I sprayed it on myself, the first time I ever sprayed it was probably the best because I got more of that pistachio, creamy, gourmandy vibe out of it. And then it just changed and it just got very soapy, almost like Irish Spring on my skin. Very, very loud and very sharp. And I just did not pick up those notes. And it's probably my nose because there's many, many people who really, really love Yum Pistachio. And I wish that I could be one of them. But it just doesn't work on my body chemistry. So that's all that it comes down to. So Yum Pistachio was a fail for me. Next up we have a fail. This was such a fail, you guys. And that is Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense. No, thank you. That one, the main accords, amber, vanilla, white floral. Already with that, it's like, no thanks. So I did get a travel of that one because I kind of already had a feeling it was not going to be it for me. That one has bourbon, vanilla, amber, jasmine, and benzoin. All notes that I struggle with. So this was a complete just, it didn't do it for me. I'm pretty sure there are people who really, really love it. There's people who say that it's very sexy and they even enjoy the intense over the original. But if you know me, I don't like the original Born in Roma, and the intense was, I think, even worse. It was just horrible on my skin. So, but Donna Born in Roma Intense just got super duper white floral, very strong, indolic, just it was not the vibes for me. It smelled super mature, kind of like that old school type of perfume. I did not enjoy it. So this next one is from Versace, and I was very excited for it. First time I went to spray it at the store, it literally was gone in a blink of an eye. It was like a breath that I took lasted longer than this fragrance. And I kind of kept going back to the store, spraying it and giving it kind of like a chance. I wanted to try it out. And this one is Versace Dylan Purple. And here is the small one that I have. So this one did start getting a little better over time. And recently I used up a lot of this one because I wanted to see if I was going to purchase it during the Sephora sale. Like if I wanted to get a full size of it because I really love the way this smells. So this one's going to be in the like category. It's not a love and it's not a hate. I love the way that this smells. I just wish the performance was a little bit better. So this one is described on Fragrantica as fruity, floral, citrus, amber. There's like woodiness in there, sweet, musky. I get all of that. It's a very kind of like unique fragrance where I pick up the pear, but I feel like there's also this woodiness in there. So it's like a very unique type of pear, in my opinion. Very nice, very sexy, very feminine as well, but the longevity is just not the best, so that's why I have not gotten a full size of this one. Next up, we have the Ellis Brooklyn fragrance. This is Florist. I still have my travel size here, which is pretty full. I have not really gone back to this one, so you guys can guess which category this is going to be in. This is in the like category. It's not one that I feel like I had to rush to get a full size bottle of it. Now, it's a floral fragrance. It's a white floral fragrance, but out of all of the white florals that I have, this is like the most doable for me. It kind of reminds me of that first fragrance, or one of the first fragrances that Kim Kardashian came out with in like the purple, really dark bottle, because there is gardenia in here, and I don't like gardenia, but there's also a very nice, fresh, juicy opening to go along with this fragrance because it does have bergamot, lemon, pear, and lily of the valley. So the opening makes it very youthful, very refreshing, and it's pretty. It's very, very pretty. The gardenia never gets too sharp. It never gets too strong. So if I had to go with a floral scent, I would definitely wear this. So I want to revisit this. I might put it in like my tray for springtime and see how it goes. There is like a woody base to it. There's ambroxan in the base as well, which I think helps to make it, give it like that more thinner feeling to it so that it doesn't get too cloying and sharp. And then the middle is gardenia, tuberose, jasmine sunback, and honeysuckle. But I pick up a little bit of the gardenia, I pick up a little bit of the tuberose, but they're very balanced and they're not sharp. This is a really, really nice one. I just never got the urge to get a full size of it. So this is definitely in the like category. This next one is from Paco Rabanne, and this one is Fame. That one is going straight to the fail category. This fragrance is supposed to be tropical. It's supposed to be vanilla and fruity, and there's mango in it, and it sounds like a complete dream. And for me, it is a complete nightmare because my nose just sniffs out that jasmine like no other. So I barely got mango in it. There's bergamot in the opening. Then there's jasmine, olibanum, vanilla, and sandalwood. All I got was a screechy white floral fragrance that smelled very heady, very sharp and screechy, very perfumey. There was like literally nothing tropical about it to me. I know there's other people who do consider it tropical, but to me, tropical, I need to get a little bit more fruit in there, more juiciness. This one's more of like a classy white floral type of fragrance. It was a fail. Performance was great. It was very long lasting, it projected. I can smell it. Of course, the ones that I don't enjoy are usually the ones that perform so great. Next up, we have Gina Heras Good Girl Blush. And that one, I recently sold the travel size because I just was not reaching for it. That one reminded me so much of Mont Blanc Signature, I think that's what it's called. It is like, to me, a citrusy vanilla scent. So the opening has bergamot and bitter almond, and then there's peony and ylang ylang. So it does have very beautiful florals. It's not a bad scent at all. I would actually put that one in the light category. It was not a complete fail, but it wasn't a love either. The base notes are vanilla and coumarin. So if you have Mont Blanc Signature, I feel like you don't need that one. It would be too much of the same thing in my opinion. But it's a very girly scent. It's citrusy, it's sweet, it's a little sparkling, and there's also vanilla in there. Really flirty and pretty, but it just did not stand out to me for me to want a full-size bottle of that one. And then now I think we're gonna start moving towards spring summer releases. So I'm going to start off with the 7 Virtues Coconut Sun. So this one is in the loves category for sure. I went through an entire travel size of this one before I decided to get the full size of it. This one is like a mixture of so many things that I love. There is coconut water in here, citruses, there's frangipani, sea salt, Egyptian jasmine, rose, and vanilla. The jasmine does come through, and it's a jasmine that I actually enjoy. It's not too sharp, it's not too floral. The coconut water gives it like the perfect consistency. It's thin, it's perfect for summertime. I wore this in super duper hot weather, like no AC type of hot weather, and the way I was smelling, it smelled perfect for hot weather. It's refreshing, it's a little sweet and salty. It's the coconut water gives it like a watery, refreshing touch. The florals give it that feminine touch so that you smell pretty. It's perfect. This is one that I definitely recommend for spring and summertime. So that is Coconut Sun from the 7 Virtues, one of my favorite releases from the 7 Virtues. Next up, oh my god, is one that I had a horrible experience with in Puerto Rico. So if you want to know like my first impressions for these, you can definitely look these up on my channel. But there was this fragrance that was released while I was in Puerto Rico, and it sounded so beautiful. I blind bought it without knowing anything about it, and I got a pretty big bottle as well. So that was like such a fail for me. I pretty much wasted my money because I did not sell my fragrances in Puerto Rico. I would just give them to family. So that was by Oscar de la Renta, and it was Bella Tropical. The way that I fell in love with that fragrance when I first got it, it was so beautiful the first maybe like couple times that I wore it. And that's why I have just been learning that reviewing perfumes is not as easy as it sounds, and it's not something that you can just smell it once and give a review. You really have to take your time with it. So unless you truly cannot handle the fragrance, that's fine. But this one started off like the most beautiful tropical fragrance. It had pineapple in it. There was ylang ylang, coconut water, sea notes, musk, tonka bean. It was so beautiful, especially for summertime. And I let it sit maybe for like 2-3 weeks, I would say, and I went back to it to wear it, and it was straight up floral. I don't know if it was that orange blossom. What the heck happened? The ylang ylang, I don't know, but it just turned into like this screechy mess. It was very sharp, very screechy. It was not enjoyable. It was like heady. So that was one that I had to declutter. Unfortunately, like I kept trying it. There was something in there that was just like very harsh, and it was not smooth. It didn't feel like the notes were blended nicely together. So I quickly had to change my mind about that one. So that one was a fail. And then right around that time, there was also another release that the same thing happened to me, and that was by Juliet Has, which is one of my favorite houses. I really love the things that they release, but of course there's always going to be 1 or 2 things that just won't work out for us. So this one was Lust for Sun, and the first time that I sprayed that fragrance, which is when I did my video for it, my review was just the first couple times that I used it. It was so beautiful. I got this coconut from it. I was picking up the vanilla from it as well. And even though I did pick up these white florals in it, it was blended beautifully in the beginning. And I feel like maybe those were those first few sprays that you spray out of a perfume before it completely changes up on you. I know some people tell me that even like the oxygen getting into the perfume can change the way that it smells. I was not aware of all those things. So same thing happened with this one. When I started wearing it a little bit more after it had been sitting for a while, it started getting sharper and more white floral and more gardenia was coming through, and it was just getting screechy, and it got to the point where I knew I was not going to reach for it. Now, out of all of the white florals that I've had, that one and for example Florist were ones that I could wear, I could handle them. They wouldn't give me a headache. They weren't too horrible. But that one I would say was more in the light category. It was not a complete disaster or a complete fail, but it also did not end up being a love for me. So that one was decluttered from my collection. Next up, we have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Summer Vibes. And this one was also a summer release, obviously, but this ended up being a love. This is in the loves list. Cannot wait to take it out again for spring and summer. The main accords for this are citrusy, woody, fruity, fresh, spicy, powdery, aromatic, and sweet. This has Calabrian bergamot, peach, and cedar. So if you felt like the original light blue just leaned too like cleaner vibes or too citrusy, lemony, this one, that peach in there, the longer it sits in my collection, it is like a woody, peachy, light blue. Not as cleaner vibes, not as sharp, not as citrusy. It's juicy, sweet, fruity, and with that little bit of wood. So I can't wait to wear this one again this summer. I love this. This is my favorite flanker of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. It kind of has like that light blue DNA for sure, but I feel like it's better. I feel like it's done better. I feel like it's not as played out as the original light blue is, which I don't really pay too much attention to that. If I like something, I wear it. I don't care. But this one just gave me that little bit of something different to get me excited about this DNA again. And that peach in there is just so, so good. But you have to let this one sit. When I first got it, it wasn't a wow, this is like earth shattering or a favorite. It was like, oh, I really like it. I'm going to use it for summer, but I wasn't completely sold on it. And I let my bottle sit for like a month or two, and that's when it got beautiful. That peach in there got juicier and it got a little bit more dense, and it's just perfection. This is so good. So, so good. It almost smells like candy. Next up, we have a release from Gucci. This is Flora Gorgeous Magnolia. I have the travel size here. I remember telling you guys that the notes for this one just sounded like something that wasn't my type of fragrance, but then again, there's notes in here that I like. So this one sounded kind of unique. There is dewberry and coconut in the opening, and that really caught my attention. Now, the middle, you have magnolia, jasmine sambac, and clary sage. And then the base, you have musk, patchouli, and blonde woods. And I do remember this being a like, but I have not picked it up since then. It's just been sitting in my travel sizes container. This reminds me of Viva La Juicy. It reminds me of something that Juicy Couture will come out with. The opening is so nice. I remember this one being a like, and I feel like the more that it sits, I am really liking this. Now, the dry down, I do remember that patchouli kind of coming through a little bit more. So I would have to wear this a few times to see if this ends up being a full bottle in my collection. But I will say this, I prefer this release over the jasmine one. That one was a no for me. Now, the pink one, which is Gorgeous Gardenia, I used to have it. It's really, really nice, but since I already have Viva La Juicy, I decluttered Gorgeous Gardenia because they kind of reminded me of each other, but that one was a nice one. But this is my favorite out of the three. It's juicy, it's sweet, it's fruity, almost creamy as well, and so far the patchouli is not overbearing, so this one's a strong like. It's right in between a love and a like. So this is one that maybe next year, if I go through the travel size, I could see this being a full size in my collection. And it's different for me. It's not something that I typically go for, but it's really, really nice. So I like this one a lot. Flur had a good amount of releases this year, so let's actually talk about those, even though I'm not going in order. But I'm going to start off with Solar Power by Flur, and that is a citrus white floral. There's aldehydes in there. There's solar notes, driftwood, there's neroli. This one, I gave it a review. I said that it was okay. It was not wowing me. I think My mom took the travel size of that one, and it was just a like for me. If you like those beachy, kind of like sunscreeny, coconut smelling perfumes, even though there's no coconut in here, but it kind of gives like those vibes of Soleil Blanc from Tom Ford, those types of fragrances. It's kind of what it reminded me of, but it just wasn't wowing me enough for it to be a love. Then they released Father Figure, which here is my travel size. It is halfway. This is my favorite out of the Fleur releases that I have tried recently. This one is a powdery unisex, really beautiful scent. I need to wear it some more to decide if I want a full size. I might want a full size of this one. It's the right amount of woodiness. If you like kind of like that, is it Santal 33? Where you like kind of like a woody perfume, but that one's just too much. This one has the right amount of everything. It's a little powdery. It's a little fruity. The fig in here is beautiful. There's orris root, there's iris, soft, powdery, musky, woody scent. I love this. This is a love for sure. I definitely see this in a full size in my collection for next year. It's something that you can wear every day. I feel like it could be unisex, even though there is something in it that kind of leans kind of feminine to me, like a sweetness in there, powdery and gentle and soft. It's not too much. So that one's so good. And then they recently released Mood Ring, which I still have in the packaging here. I'm still getting to know this one. The color of this one is super duper fun. It's like a lime, very electric green, and this one has really sweet notes in it. It has like gummy candy type of note in there. There's orange, there's pitaya. So the opening for this one, so good. It's juicy. It's like perfect, I think, for like spring and summertime. Really nice for like hot weather because it just smells very bright. Really nice. But the base notes, which is musk, amber, and patchouli, is where I'm iffy about this one. So I can't really speak much on this one. This one's right now is going to be like in the like category for me, but I am going to give it some wears so that I can do a review on this one very soon. So that is Mood Ring. We also have another release that I am so happy to have, and it was such a win in my collection, and this is Ariana Grande's Cloud Pink. So this fragrance, we have a nice dent going on in this one so far. This is my favorite cloud out of all of the clouds that I have tried. It smells sweeter. It smells like cotton candy to me, very sugary, sweet with the cloud DNA in the background. It's so sweet and fruity. It works really good for me. I don't really get like that aromatic vibe out of this one. It has gotten much better with time. The performance has gotten a little bit better. It's still not out of this world long lasting, but it has gotten much better. And I love to layer this with Sol de Janeiro Rosa 68. They are a match made in heaven. I don't think there's anything not to like about this fragrance, in my opinion. It is girly. It's really sweet, much sweeter than the original Cloud in my opinion, and juicier. And then that cotton candy vibe is just there. It's like a sugary cotton candy. I know that the pineapple in here is like a pink pineapple, which gives off like cotton candy vibes, and I totally get that. So this was a complete love, super huge hit for me in 2023. Next up, we have Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. This was such a flop for me. It started off so good. I loved it. I gave it a great review. I said that I really liked it. Ever since the beginning, I always kind of mentioned that the opening was a little challenging for me because it smelled a little sharp in the opening. But as that fragrance sat for a few weeks, the more I would wear it, it would get sharper and sharper. And just the lemon was so sharp and almost synthetic and screechy to the point that I just couldn't take it anymore. I did not enjoy wearing that one, so it ended up being a fail for me. That one went from being a complete love to being a fail, but that has been a very big hit for 2023, and many people really do enjoy that one. Another fragrance that was sent over to me, and it is from Juliet Has a Gun. This is another Juliet Has a Gun release for 2023. This is Ode to Dullness. This one I would say is in the light category for me. It's still not a love. It has not turned into a love because I still don't know how I feel about this one. It's not a bad scent. It's just very heavy on the sandalwood, and I struggle with sandalwood. So this one, I feel like I need to wear it again to see how it wears. But there's something about it that I really, really love. And then there's something about it that I'm just not sure about. This one is very hard to describe as well. It's just like a woody, a little warm, cozy type of fragrance, but the name kind of lets you know what it is. A fragrance that you can wear with like your favorite sweater on a cold day, on a rainy day. Also, I kind of see this working for that. It does smell better today, but this is one that I will say is in the light category for me. It's not a love, but it's not a fail either. The Seven Virtues Cherry Ambition. I know that was one that many people loved, and everyone is kind of saying that it's a very sexy cherry fragrance. I'm not really feeling cherry too much lately, and it reminded me so much of Kayali Burning Cherry. It just reminded me so much of that one, and I had recently decluttered that one from my collection, so it just didn't work for me. It that kind of DNA, like Kayali one, the Tom Ford one, the Seven Virtues Cherry Ambition, just that type of like cherry, woody, smoky type of cherry is just not really my favorite DNA. So that was a fail for me, and I got rid of my travel size as soon as I got it. It was just not one I enjoyed. Valentino Donna Born in Roma Pink PB. I finally found one that actually works for me, but this one I'm going to put it in the light category for now. I would not say this is one that I'm just like super in love with or raving about. It is the only Born in Roma flanker that works for me though. It has a beautiful opening, the sweetness in it. There's this citrusy touch, which makes it brighter, easier to wear. It's really, really nice. Again, there's something in it some days where it's not my favorite. It's never a fail. It's not a fail at all. It smells really, really nice, sweet, almost has the sweetness of like Love Don't Be Shy, but not turned up all the way. It's a little bit less intense of sweetness. It's the one that I enjoy. So between all of the Donna Born in Roma fragrances, the original one, the intense one, those were like fails. This one is a really, really good one. Very sweet and much easier to wear in my opinion, and more like flirty and just like pretty. It's in between a love and a like. So that one was a hit for me, even though I do need to wear it some more. Next up, we have Boy Smells Vanilla Era. I feel like if you're looking for a niche type of vanilla, not your typical cupcake vanilla or super sweet gourmand vanilla, you want something that's a little more complex, a little more notes in there, something that's not just so easy to point out, like that it smells like vanilla frosting or vanilla cupcake. This one is a woody vanilla with like, I believe it's pepper in there. Super unique, super expensive smelling, really, really nice. I was very impressed with this fragrance. The longevity was amazing. I would have to get through this travel size to see if I want a full size of it. But every time I spray it, it has actually gotten a little bit sweeter. So this is one that I'm going to say is a hit, is a love. I definitely recommend if you're looking for something like more complex, something that smells more expensive, more niche quality. This one is so good. So good. And I know many of you guys tried it after I talked about this one, and I have not heard one person tell me that they didn't enjoy it. It was very, very good feedback that I got from this one from you guys. Next up, we have Kayali UD Gasm Vanilla Oud. This one was a hit for me. So Yum Pistachio was not a love, but then when this one was released, I was very afraid to try it because it had the oud in the name. This one is so good. This one is always makes me think of like a bougie aunt or something. Like rich vibes, powdery, sweet, luxe. It just smells so luxe. It's so good. The longer it sits in my collection, I just wonder if I should go ahead and get the full size just to let it sit, because with Kayali fragrances, I feel like you need time to let it sit and they get better and better as time goes by. So Oudgasm was a complete love. If you're scared about the name, don't be scared. Start off with a travel size, but it's very sugary, it's very sweet, but then still smells rich and luxurious, and there's something like dark about it at the same time. Very sexy, so I definitely recommend this one. Great release this year for them. Another amazing release that I have just been loving so much. It's probably one of my favorite out of all of these for 2023. This is Burberry Goddess. I got this as soon as it was released. I've been letting it sit in my collection. This is like a aromatic vanilla. It has ginger in it, which is the perfect ginger for me. It smells rich, it smells luxurious, it smells sophisticated and classy but sexy at the same time. Perfect for the holidays, perfect for holiday parties. And with time, it gets better and better. So this one is really, really good. This was such a hit for me for 2023. Now, lastly, we have, I need to hurry up because I've been talking forever. But we have another Ellis Brooklyn fragrance. This is Apple Love. This made it to a favorites video, but when it comes to releases all wrapped up, I would put this in the light category just because of the performance. So when I wear this fragrance, I have been loving to mix it with the Nemat Vanilla Musk Oil, and that's when I get like the best experience with it. The smell of this is so good. If I was going based off of the smell, it would be a hit, a love, an obsession. I love it. I get the apple, I get the sugar, sweet, but then like a little aquatic at the same time, like refreshing. It's so, so good, but it does not last on me. So that's the only downside to these fragrances is they don't last. But I mean, the travel size is literally almost done. So I can't really say if I will have a full size of it or not, but the only thing that I will say is the longevity is not the best. But the scent itself is a crisp, juicy apple, but then there's also like a mix of a sugary touch in there. The vanilla comes through as well for me. So good. Scent wise, it's up there, but the performance is not the best. Then we have another Kayali fragrance that was recently released. This is Eden Sparkling Lychee 39. I have really been enjoying this one. Very flirty, very fun, bright, juicy, candy-like lychee. Oh, this smell is so good. It makes me think of like passion fruit juice for a reason, even though there's no passion fruit in here. The longevity is not the best, but on clothes, this really does stick to my clothes. It does perform great on my clothes, just not on my skin. But I do like that it kind of tones down a little bit because it opens up pretty strongly. But I feel like this one, I'm going to give you guys an update this spring and summer. I feel like it needs time. I feel like I don't want to get too into it right now, because I feel like this is going to get thicker and it's going to last longer just with a couple months of sitting. So I'm not really reaching for this one right now. I'm going to wait until like April, May, around there. But it's a love. It's a hit for me. The scent is so, so good. I just wish that the longevity lasts a little bit longer and then it'll be perfect. So this is a really girly, flirty, really nice, juicy scent. And last but not least, we have Nest Lychee Rose. This is one of my most recent purchases for the year. I love the packaging of it. It's really, really nice. This one is like the older sister to Kayali's Eden Sparkling Lychee. So if you want one that's a little bit more sexy, a little bit more rose, because the rose is definitely stronger in this one, then I would go with this one. The lychee's definitely in there. It's still not a bad lychee. It's not sour. It's not too harsh. But the rose is definitely louder in this fragrance than the lychee. It's more of a rose fragrance to me. And it smells really nice, very feminine, very flirty, and romantic as well. Very, very, very feminine. So this one I would say is a strong like. I don't see myself getting a full size of this because I'm not the biggest rose girl. But if you love rose, if you love very girly rose fragrances, this one has that hint of lychee in there as well, which helps it to become fruity. This is one that I would recommend for sure. And the performance of this one is much better than the Kayali one. In the performance, I will say that. It does last longer. It does project a little bit more. And yeah, this one is a strong like for me. But I still need to get to know it much better. So watch out for some dedicated reviews coming up in the new year for these. I'm just going to wear them and really get to know them before I do those videos. So that brings me to the end of this video, this 2023 wrap up. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what was your favorite release for 2023. What fragrances did you really enjoy this year? And since I am pre-filming, I'm going to be spending Christmas in Miami. I'm not sure when these videos are going to be going up, but I do know that we are in the end of the month, the end of the year. So I just wanted to wish you guys a very, very happy holidays. And I also just wanted to wish a very, very happy new year. I hope that there is nothing but blessings for you guys and health, most of all, just health and just blessings to all of you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for all of the support throughout the year. I don't want to get emotional, but I'm just very, very thankful and grateful for you guys. And every holiday season, especially when it's a new year, and I reflect on the year, how much support I've gotten, how much beautiful people I have met through my channel. I just, I'm very, very grateful for all of you. And I just appreciate all of the support, especially because deep down, I am always just that shy and very, I will say, insecure person. I just want to say thank you because you guys have helped me so much to kind of believe in myself more than I do. And it's all thanks to you. So I wish nothing but happy holidays to you guys, blessings, happy new year, and now to a happy 2024 with lots of new content coming. So with that said, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one.